Hello again, and welcome back to Truth Viral Television. I'm TV. I'm the host of Truth Viral. Today, well, the trumpets are sounding. So, in light of the trumpet sounding, the video is titled "The 6th Trumpet" or Donald Trumpet. Well, I'm going to try to go through a few things in this video and get to what I think is important and the reason why I titled the video like I did. This video really isn't about Donald Trump. It's more about the times that we're in, and thinking more importantly is what is going to be more important here in the future. Obviously the most important would be the Most High, and then the Messiah, of course. The only way to the Messiah, the only way to the Father would be the Messiah. So understand that becomes before all the Most High. Maybe you should look into a little bit more about the name of our Messiah, or the Mashiach, his true Hebrew name, and what that might be. That's not what this video is about either. This video is more about, since if you understand the times that we're in, and you do have that in mind of priority and prioritizing things and what's important, that's really what I want to try to explain to you in this video. If I can reach anybody and help one person out, then it'll be worth making this video. So obviously this video, most importantly to me, always before everything, the Messiah, Christ over everything, okay? But more importantly is nothing, okay? Secondly, I want to talk about, if you're aware of what times we're living in, then you understand there were only 5 wise virgins, and it's time to trim your lamps. It's time to trim off those things that doesn't make him happy, and prepare yourself. Make sure you have enough oil in your lamps. So taking care of your family and preparing, to me, is using discernment. That is how I keep oil in my lamps for that day when that day comes. So gold, we're looking at a little current shot of what gold is at right now, okay? Hasn't changed here. It's getting ready to open back up. It was $12.87 on Friday the 8th. So, oh, actually no, that was Friday. It was $12.87 on Friday the 6th. It's now Sunday, May 8th. And a lot of people like to take their investment and put it in gold. The gold to silver ratio, maybe you should look into that. Historically, how many ounces of gold can you or silver can you buy for 1 ounce of gold? Look into the history, and it'll tell you a little bit about the price of silver right now. I did put on the title of this video that food is the new gold. So most people don't even understand that, but if you're prepared at all before in the past, and if you're aware that you need to make sure that preparing is, something you need to do. Our grandparents did it. I think they would tell us we were crazy if we weren't prepared. I think I put that in the video before once, that they would have thought you were crazy if you didn't have something put away for a rainy day. They would probably call you stupid. This day and age, it might hurt somebody's feelings, and you could probably go to jail for that. But I don't go by the laws of this world, and I don't live in this world. I go by a different set of rules. So but that's not what this video about is. Back on track here. I want to talk to you about why I think food is the new gold. Stocks. Have you looked at the stock market? We can go there real quick. I mean, let's look at where it was at the other day when it closed. The stock market, it was up on Friday 79 points, 17,740 points. I still think we'll see 20,000 on the Dow before it falls down. Okay, what's a dollar worth to you? The dollar on closing was 93.83. It's been as low It hit its low the other day of a 52-week low of 91.92. So, I mean, that's almost down into the 80s. So, are you paying attention to any of these things? Any of these things important to you? Baltic Dry Index, do you know what that is? That is the, shipping of all goods. Look at, we're coming back down. We hit a low back in February of this year. It was all the way down at a record low of below 300. Never that low before in the history of the inception of the Baltic Dry Index. So, again, let's get back to, oh, wait, hey, the weather might determine something that I'm talking about here. I think that's why I've got it pulled up, huh? Where's that weather coming from? Oh, look at this over here, guys. We're having a geomagnetic storm right now as we speak. Pretty soon that radiation storm will be coming through. Might just be because we have a coronal hole stream right equatorial coming right at us. So again, the video is about why I think that food is the new gold. Okay, oh, that's silver. Let's get back over to gold. So, ladies and gentlemen, all these things can fluctuate in price, but I promise you, YouTube, food is always going to go up. Period. There's no conspiracy behind that. That's just a fact, so you can throw your conspiracy out the window. Food prices don't get cheaper. I've made mention, and there's people and economists who believe that we won't see hyperinflation in this country, but I do believe we will. So that someday means that a $3 loaf of bread might cost you $30, or maybe even up to $300. Who knows? So if a loaf of bread's $300, how much is a steak? You do the math on that and you figure it out. But again, weather does dictate, things like, let's get back over here real quick over to Solar Ham, and let me talk to you real quick about what I see coming, okay, what I see in the future, just because I know a little bit about this and been studying this for years. Solar maximums, solar minimums, we generally have an 11-year cycle. We're not on that cycle anymore. We've had an ice age as early as 1700s. We were in an ice age. We had a Dalton and a Maunder minimum. Both of these things were a reduced number of sunspots on our sun. Yes, they count them as the year goes by, and how many sunspots in a month, a quarter, half a year, and a year, they add that up. That determines in those 11 years, that solar cycle, whether we're in a solar maximum and solar minimum, okay? So when we go into a solar minimum and the sun looks like it does now, where it's really bright and it's not shooting off any solar flares, okay, and it hasn't been. Let's go back and take a look at that real quick. Boy, this video isn't turning out about what I thought it was going to be, but it really all relates to each other. So look at, this is our solar flaring right here. Flat line. A, B, C, M, and X flares, solar flares, flat line. It looks like we're dead. The sun has gone quiet. That means solar minimum, and eventually grand solar minimum. Ladies and gentlemen, we have very few summers left in this cycle, if any left. I think this could potentially be the last good growing summer. So think about what I just said to you. Last growing summer means no food for you, no food for those cows to eat, no cows to eat anymore. So all the food's gone. Really think about it. I know I just went way probably over some of your heads, but look, if this growing cycle gets taken out 1 year, and we've already had some things like the cherries and some things this year, we've already had early frost this year that took out some of the crops, and you're going to see increases in the grocery stores this year on these items that I've mentioned, and I just mentioned one, but there are other items that were taken out by early frost. If we get an early winter and it takes out, what would happen if in the middle of the winter it snowed? We have a magnetic shield that's weakening, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what's happening. You see, we haven't had any solar flares, right? But yet we are having a geomagnetic storm, and pretty soon probably solar radiation coming through. Look at this in the red. It gets much higher, it's going to go into purple. Okay, I mean, this is what a geomagnetic storm looks like. Okay, this means that if you go, have you ever heard of the aurora borealis or the northern lights? Okay, that's not a good thing. That's what this is right here. This is the aurora borealis over our Earth. This red means this is a lot of, well, solar radiation. I'm not going to even go into, that's a whole nother video. You better take some interest in yourself to look into this stuff. There's a lot of good YouTubers that do videos on this, and you won't find any of this from NASA, okay? But this is the aurora borealis. This means that radiation is getting through our shields, okay? I mean, I know it looks pretty and all, okay? Again, everybody I think has heard about the aurora borealis or the northern lights in their lifetime and understands what that is, right? Okay? Well, what it is solar radiation coming through. So again, we're not having any solar flares, and yet we're having a solar storm. Hello. It's what I just told you, YouTube. Look, our magnetic shield is getting weaker and weaker. That's not a theory. That's a fact as well. So pretty soon, we're going to go into what they call a grand solar minimum. Okay? This is predicted to go out to maybe 2030. So that means it's just going to get worse. And I'm not trying to make anybody fear. I'm making this so that you'll get prepared. That's why you can't eat gold. And you can't eat silver. Okay? Even though silver could potentially be antibiotics and it's industrial metal and used in lots of other things, you can't eat it. Okay? You can't eat bullets. Okay? You can't eat guns. You know, you can't eat your bug out bag. What do you know, ladies and gentlemen, have you ever bought any kind of food? Okay? You know, have you ever tried to store food? That's what this video is really about, okay? The mistakes, you can make a bunch of mistakes, but I'm going to tell you there's one way not to make the mistake, and this is how you do it. This is how you hedge your investment. Even though a lot of people might say put money in gold and silver, this or that, I'm telling you, don't put money in anything until you put money into this first. This is why this is the new gold. I promise you, you can have your gold. You can have your silver. Freeze-dried food. We all know, we've heard of those things like Mountain House. I'm not going to punch all that in right now. Okay. The thing I'm getting at, let's just get right to the point. A freeze-dried food takes all the oxygen and all the moisture out of the food. If you seal it and put an airtight container and put an oxygen absorber in there, that food will last you 25 years. Do your own homework on this, YouTube. But freeze-dried food is better than most of the food that you can get from the grocery store. See, I care about my health because my body is a temple, and I know that the Most High says if I ruin my body, that I'm probably going to get thrown in the lake of fire, and that's not what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking to try to be with the Most High at the right hand of the Father. And He tells me to put oil in my lamp and prepare. And so I made these videos, and He tells me to tell other people because that's a righteous thing to do. And so I'm putting this information out to you right now. Hear me out and do some research yourself. But food that'll last 25 years, the food is not getting any better. Genetically modified foods, all these chemicals and things that are putting in the foods, genetically modified crops and seeds and meat that's not even real salmon that's been put onto the market, potentially human flesh at convenient foods, you know, arches, and not even telling you what color those are, but you can figure that out for yourself, huh? Look, freeze-dried food potentially, from what I've seen, heard, tasted, and can tell you, is just as good as if you cook it, reconstitute it fresh or raw, is just as good as any food. If you don't believe me, go buy one of those things like Mountain House or Thrive or one of these other companies and buy some of this food, okay? Does save you preparing it if you cook it ahead of time and then you freeze dry it, or you buy food that's already freeze dried, okay? That saves you the time in the end. If you couldn't cook that meal and didn't have the potential to cook that meal, if you had something that was already pre-cooked, you could eat it just as it was without reconstituting it, meaning adding water back to it. So This is what I see as the new gold. I don't see anything as any more important. I don't even know what the heck anybody else is thinking right now. You know, we were thrown out of, we were thrown out of Egypt and cast into Babylon because we didn't follow his rules, and we didn't take care of the land, and we didn't take care of our people, and it had to do with food. Did it not? Listen to what I'm saying, please. The Most High lives, and he is all around. If you just listen, if you have ears to hear, and if you have eyes to see, this should be obvious to you. I've canned food, I've dried food, there's lots of ways to do it, but nothing will make it last. Like taking, you know, astronaut ice cream. This is the stuff they supposedly took to the moon, okay? Neil Armstrong, do you believe all that stuff? But again, ladies and gentlemen, food that'll last for 25 years. My point is if your body's a temple, the food's not getting any better, you better preserve what you have right now. It would be stupid not to. Yeah, it would be. Leave a comment if you disagree with me. Leave any comment. I dare anybody to challenge. I challenge anybody to find something better than freeze-dried food as an investment for your family or for the future. You know, hey, even if you had to throw steaks or something at them, you could still use it as a weapon. I bet you those hungry people, if you started throwing steaks at you, would probably be on your side. So, look, please, again, the Most High, know what comes first in your life. There is one thing that comes before all others. The reason I made this video is because we're changing, and our solar cycle is changing. Okay, we're going into a grand solar minimum. That means that before, if you look at all the times in history when this has happened in our history before, this is when great civilizations have perished. It's been on these cycles. Generally, it's been on cooling and heat cycles. Okay, and that has to do with grand solar minimums and grand solar maximums. There's other things on the sun that's fascinating. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I'll try to answer any question. If you ask me, I have tons of information. I've been researching this. I make it a lifestyle to know this information. The Most High wants us to know this. He doesn't want you to put your head in the sand. He wants you to be awake. These are the most amazing times to ever be alive. This earth is changing so rapidly. To be asleep right now, I try not to associate people like that. I just try to plant seeds and let them wake up on their own. So I'm not trying to push on anything to anybody. Believe what you want. Think everything that I'm saying is a lie. Do some homework for yourself, okay? You'll find out that I'm not kidding you. These are real times, and these are end times that we're living in. So do some homework on that. Find out about the abomination of desolation and when that took place, okay? Because that'll tell you exactly what time we're living in. So please, get yourself prepared. Might not be, you know, unwise to own a piece of silver. I don't know any, you know, I don't have any gold. I just don't think that's a good investment, because I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket anyway. So I was taught better than that from my parents, and my grandparents taught me to be more wise than that. So it's time to wake up. Know the times we're living in. Know what's going on. Know that, again, with this grand solar minimum that's coming, pretty soon this food is going to get taken out. You can go 3 weeks without eating, but you can only go 3 days without water. So that's pretty important as well. Find yourself a water source. Get yourself a good gravity-fed water filtration system. Berkey, ProPure, AlexaPure. It doesn't matter. If it's a gravity-fed filter, you do not need to have electricity to hook it up. Things like, you know, little things go a long way. Comfort things in the end. Even maybe a deck of cards would even go a long way. Where did that come from? I'm just saying, okay? Think about your future just a little bit more than what's in front of you. I would suggest to you, and again, this is not fear, I think this is time. If you're in a big city, if you could get yourself out of that situation, now would be the time. That's not out of fear. That's out of what I believe to be the #1 thing that will kill you come this time, where everybody on this rock here that we call America, or I call New Babylon, seems to think they're going to get to watch the bomb fall from the comfort of their living room on their big screen TV. Well, that ain't going to happen that way, okay? You need to find yourself another alternative to that, because that's what is going to kill you. Population density, ladies and gentlemen. Find a way away from these people that are not prepared, because that's who's going to kill you, and that's going to come. Who's going to come try to take all your stuff because they're motivated by empty mouths at home. You know what I'm saying? All right, YouTube. I'm Truth Viral. That's Truth Viral Television. I thank you so much for watching. Don't know how to do this anyway, so I got to stop it right there. Praise to the Most High. Thank you so much again for watching. I appreciate all my subscribers, any new subscribers. Again, please, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got any questions, leave a comment below. I'll try to get back in touch with you. I do want to connect with anybody who might have questions. Two people talking about the Messiah is church. So I don't believe in religion. Religion is probably the most evil thing on the planet. Look at the Pope. Look at the little horn of the Bible. It's an abomination in this country. Thanks again for watching. I'm Truth Viral.